Hey guys, me Dave. It's 10/8, 2022, so it's Saturday night. It's about 9 o'clock, a little after 9 p.m. Central Time, so I thought I'd do a little video. I went to a call and all this stuff. They're talking about the Shield and all this stuff. They have this lady on there. Her name is Jax. I don't think she's a real TI personally. Um, you know, I don't know if you heard about the Cyber Shield and all this stuff is supposed to stop your targeting and all this stuff, and it's really expensive. It's like $3,600 with shipping. So it's a lot of money for a TI to put out, and you can supposedly finance it. The Cyber Shield is $3,600. You know how much I paid for my truck? I paid $3,900 for my truck. It's you can almost buy a vehicle for this. They say it works. It looks pretty. I seen a picture of it. It's a square box with a fan, and it has software on it. Does it work? Does it work? Is it? You know, they talk about it and all this stuff. But they also talk about your mental ability. You know how your mental ability works. If you believe something works, your brain kind of adapts to that, and it kind of shields against that. You know, I mean, it's in the, they kind of explain that when they're talking about this. A lot of it is mental shielding. It really is your mindset on so does the product work, or does it just enhance your mental ability to fight your targeting? It's that's a tough question, and that's a lot of money to spend. $3,600. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Maybe it does work. I don't know. Duncan's behind it and everything else, so maybe it does work. I don't know. But let's get some real hardcore TIs to test this out. Let's really test this out for hardcore TIs. Why don't they send this to hard TIs? I'm a hard TI. Brian Two's a hard TI. Kyle's a hard TI. Jeff Bedor's a hard TI. Why don't they test this out on hard TIs that are being tortured to hell? And they're manipulating our minds and manipulating our bodies and everything else. Let's see if this works for real when you're paying $3,600. Not to send it to perps to see if it works. We are in a psyop, and they want you broke. They want you broke. These people want you broke. I don't know if this guy's legit or not. I'm not saying anything about this guy. He's smart. He's intelligent and everything else. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. But even they explain in this that a lot of it is mental shielding. If you have a mindset, you guys, you got this AI trying to take you down. If you have a mindset, even Duncan says you can train the AI. So if you have a mindset and you're mentally strong, against the supercomputer and all this stuff, you can train it. They will do things manually. That's the thing. They'll do things manually. They can do things manually. It's not all AI. A lot of it is AI. A lot of the remote monitoring is AI. A lot of the thought trigger attacks is AI. A lot of the triggers are AI. I realize all that stuff. But they can do things manually, and they can set this supercomputer at different levels of torture and attacks. They can put horrible things in your mind. They can try to get you to hurt yourself. They can try to get you to hurt others. They can try to do all kinds of different things manually. They can set this AI up manually. They can make it all sexual. They can do all kinds of things manually to set the AI up on how it works. So is this thing gonna work? Is it $3,600? That's almost as much as my truck. You know, that's a lot of money to finance for a TI. A lot of TIs don't have those kind of funds. We don't have that kind of money to spend on this Cyber Shield. I'm not saying anything either way. I'm just saying we need to question whether this thing is legit or not. It doesn't seem to work for everyone. There's a lady Jax. I don't think she's a real TI. I don't believe she's real. She goes on these calls all the time and swears on this thing. Now tonight she's saying she went to a hospital and brought it. She brought it to a hospital with her, and she plugged it into the room. Now that's not realistic. That's not true. They are not going to let you bring something into the room with you and just plug it in. And they would be like, "What's that? You can't have that." That's not reality. A lot of these people are not real TIs, you guys. If they really want to test this thing out and they really want to test these products out, why don't they do it to people with real V2K, and do it to people with real symptoms and real hard targets? You want to test this stuff out, send it to real hard targets that are unbiased. They're they are going to be non-judgmental in reviewing your product. Hard targets that are real, not perps. Don't test this out on perps like Jax. Jax is an old lady perp. She goes on these calls, she talks nonsense and all this stuff, and she swears by this thing, and she's full of shit. She's full of shit. And they got a lot of elderly people on these calls, you guys, that pretend they're targets, and they're not. They're not targets. Some of them don't show their face. Some of them don't show their real names. We don't know who these people are from anywhere. Nobody's on Facebook. And all everyone's on Facebook. There's people. I don't know how to work Facebook. My relative is 80 years old, and she's on Facebook all the time. We gotta stop being naive and realize that we're in a psyop. These people want us broke, you guys. They want us broke. They want us broke. Like I say, if they really want to test these products out, send them to hard targets. I'm a hard target. I'm getting remote air monitored 24/7. I am getting tortured 24/7. I am going to the bathroom 24/7. I'm being sexually assaulted all the time. Test this out on me. Test this out on Brian too, and see if it stops. See if it stops the thought-triggered attacks, the triggers, the things they're trying to do to you. They won't do it. You know why they won't do it? Because it doesn't work. It's not going to work. Really, it's not going to work. Against hard targets. Why doesn't somebody do something to us that actually works? For hard targets. Send this stuff to real targets. Let's test it out and see if it works. I'm not going to pay no $3,600 for something and be broke and be paying on the thing as long as I'm paying on my truck. So we're in a psyop. Are some of these other people in a psyop too? Are they real? Are they here to support us? Are they just blowing smoke up our ass? Well, I don't know. Maybe we're in a huge psyop and everyone's blowing smoke up our ass like nothing. I haven't seen any real results of anything, you guys. And all stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up about that. I'm not trying to bash the guy, you guys. I'm not trying to bash him. He seems like a smart, intelligent guy. And this device is very pretty. It's in a nice box. It has a fan to keep it cool, and it has software, like almost a little screen up there, so you can work the software and all this stuff. it's very well built, but for $3,600, who can afford that? And they know nobody can afford it. That's why it's $3,600. That's why it's $3,600, because nobody can afford it. Not real TIs can afford it, that are living in a tent and all this stuff. They can't afford that, you know. So, another thing I want to talk about, they mentioned tonight too that I looked it up on Google and CNN. There's been dozens of CIA agents going to Congress about Havana syndrome. Dozens, okay? Now they're complaining about these agencies not doing a proper investigation and trying to figure out what's going on, and all this stuff. Dozens, you guys. I mean, so if there's 3 dozen, what is that? 24, 36 dozen, 36 people. I don't know. There's a lot of victims apparently out there, you guys. They're trying to figure out what's going on, and they don't agree. They went to Congress. They've been bombarding Congress about this Havana syndrome investigations that the State Department is doing and the CIA is doing. So what is going on? These people are risking their careers, and they're going to Congress, unless they're old enough to retire and they get a pension, But they are going to Congress and complaining about this, demanding something to happen. So I seen that a couple days ago on CNN. They mentioned it tonight on the call. So is that something that's going to happen? What is going on? What is going on? People are demanding justice, or whatever you want to call it. They're trying to figure out what's going on, with these investigations. It's been, over a year, 2 years already, and nothing's really happening and all this stuff. And so I was really surprised at that CIA workers were going to Congress to demand, you better get off your ass and do something about this and figure out what's going on, because a lot of us are hurting, And then they did mention that a lot of these guys, between the State Department and everything else, they're paying these guys compensation for their injuries and stuff. They even mentioned one guy had cancer. They couldn't directly, you're not going to get a straight answer. They're not going to admit, what's going on with these weapons and all this stuff. But one guy had cancer, a rare form of cancer, and he's blaming it on these weapons. And they can't directly connect it to the weapons right now, but people are getting sick. They're getting memory loss, everything else, and nobody's doing anything about it. They're demanding that Congress gets off their ass and does something. So if you're a TI and you have nothing to lose, write to Congress. Tell them that regular people are being hit with these weapons. I've been writing to Congress, Amy Klobuchar and everything else, the president. The complaints are coming in, and it's getting into the news media now. And this stuff is not going to be forgotten. They're not going to forget this stuff. It's a cover-up. Who's doing this to the diplomats? I have no idea. But for whatever reason, there's a cover-up going on. And, it's a huge cover-up. And they want to try to push us under the rug. Well, now there's people going to Congress and demanding that something happens. So that's what I want to say. I'm having a drink. I'm trying to relax. I'm still stressed out, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to cut this off. I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.